This is your AEW All Out pay-per-view review. This is also another installment of Around the Point. I want to thank you all for tuning in. As always, guys, I am the fat fuck himself. I am that dork slayer. I am that mother flower that you all know as Steve. If you are new to the channel, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button down below. Give the video a big old thumbs up and share this video throughout your entire social media platforms wherever you guys share videos. If you want to follow me on Twitter, it's @HeelSteven. I'd love to hear your thoughts on the show, whether it be on Twitter, whether it be on the YouTube comments down below. It will be so appreciated. So, All Out was last night. AEW's, I guess, their biggest show of the year, right? Being that last year was All In. This year was All Out. I look forward to next year. All over the bitch. But to me, I'm going to be very honest. It felt all the same, in my honest opinion. Now, hear me out, okay? We had, I guess, the prelude, which was like, I guess the beginning was All In last year. We then had Double or Nothing back in, I want to say it was May, yeah. We then had the Fyter Fest show. We had Fight for the Fallen. And now we have All Out. And to me, and this is just my humble opinion, it felt just the same. The same 5-hour long show where you have all these matches of a shitload of people and they're kicking out of their finishers and near falls and flip-bitty kicks and stuff like that. And now that's not a bad thing. By no means am I trying to come off, I'm trying to shit on the show. That's not my intention. I actually thought this show was very enjoyable, believe it or not. Yes, it had its moments. It did. Where it was great, awesome, and then it had its moments where like, get this off my TV, and then it went back up and stuff like that. But to me, it just felt the same. Again, you know, this show, when you think about it, right, All Out was 5 hours long, almost. If you want to count the buy-in. Oh, but the buy-in is something different, Steve. No, it's not. If you want to count because I guarantee you guys, a lot of you, when you watch a WWE pay-per-view, you guys put the freaking kickoff show in the whole thing as well. And you count that as the length of the show. So don't give me that either, okay? But again, I welcome your feedback and your thoughts in the comment threads below. So, a fun little fact. I didn't watch the show live as in like the first hour like everyone else, being that I was at work. I got out of work at 9 p.m. I got home. I watched All Out, so I missed the first hour. And I just finished watching the entire like thing that I missed, basically. I missed the kickoff show or the buy-in, and I missed the first hour of the show. So I got to watch all that, and now here I am doing this review. And like I said, I thought the show was enjoyable, but it had its moments. So let's get this out of the way, shall we? Again, let's get this shit out of the fucking way. We kicked things off with the buy-in. We had the 21 women casino battle royal, where the winner of the casino battle royal will be one of the women that would be in the match to crown the inaugural AEW Women's Champion. So the 21 women that were in this match, you had Leva Bates, who was the librarian, you had Triple A's Fabi Apache, Priscilla Kelly and her tampons and shit like that, and Nyla Rose, Shalandra Royale, Penelope Ford, Shazza McKenzie, Sadie Gibbs, Big Swole, you might have remembered from the Mae Young Classic, Britt Baker, Tenille Dashwood, the former Emma. Apparently, AEW reached out to Impact Wrestling to have Tenille Dashwood in this match to, I guess, fill in women, being that Tenille Dashwood is now signed to Impact Wrestling. Ivelisse from Lucha Underground. We have Babe Priestley, Brandy Rhodes, Awesome Kong, Ali, Nicole Savoy, who was also a long time ago in the Mae Young Classic, if I'm not mistaken. You had Teal Piper, the daughter of Roddy Piper, the late, great Roddy Piper. You had ODB, Jazz, and you had as the Joker card being Mercedes Martinez. And I'm going to be very honest, okay? To me, this match, and here's the thing about it, it just felt all over the place. Very sloppy. Eliminations happened real quick. You kind of knew going in, based off the person that was in the ring, being Nyla Rose and all the other women, and she basically eliminated the women that were in her group that went into the ring, if you will, that started the match just like that, and just the story they were telling here. You kind of knew where they were going with this, and that being that Nyla Rose was going to win the match, and she did. She basically won the match. She won the match once she eliminated, I want to say here, if I remember correctly, she won by eliminating last Britt Baker, who was assisted, by the way. So basically, Britt Baker eliminated Bae Priestley at the end of the match. And Bae Priestley, what they did, if you guys remember the 92 Royal Rumble when Hulk Hogan eliminated Sid, when Sid eliminated Hogan, and you remember Hogan outside of the ring grabbing Sid's arm so Flair could just throw him over the top rope. They kind of did the same thing here, where basically Bae Priestley grabbed Britt Baker's arm, which helped Nyla Rose eliminate Britt Baker and to win the match. At the same time, too, the names that were in the match, some of them that we've seen before, what have you, were just given a short presentation, then that was it. I would expect that someone like Daniel Dashwood to last a little longer. Someone like Eva Lise to last a little longer. They made a big deal out of Teal Piper, the daughter of Roddy Piper. They did a special on her on their Road to All Out type of stuff on YouTube, just so she could eliminate it like that. But other than that, yeah, Nyla Rose is going to be in the match to crown the first AEW World Champion. And we'll get into her opponent later on in the show. But that was that. That was the first match on the buy-in. We then had Private Party versus Angelico and Jack Evans. I thought this was a very, fun match. The crowd got into this. A lot of the crazy moves back and forth. A lot of the kicks, the flips, the near falls here, if you will. A very good tag team match. Something that you probably will see as we get into the tag team tournament real soon here on AEW to crown the very first tag team champions. But when it was all said and done, a Private Party won after they hit the gin and juice, and they got the pin and they won. And after that, you had Jack Evans and Angelico attacking Private Party. But that was it. Basically, Isaiah Cassidy pinned Angelico, and that was it. And the crowd got into it. I want to say this too. I feel like, to me, a favorite to win this tournament, and I know it's not going to happen, but again, if it was up to me, I'd have Private Party. Private Party should be one of those teams that you won't expect to go far in the tournament, but should. I'm not saying win the whole thing, but at least, be like that, wow, that team that, again, you didn't see that coming, but again, only time will tell. They also played a vignette to I guess it was a vignette of some guy named Wardlow. Apparently, he's the revenge champion and stuff like that. I'm not really familiar with his stuff. I want to sit here pretend like I'm familiar with his stuff. I know people that will come on here and they will oh, I know who he is. He's very good and shit. And then in reality, they never watch anything of that person. So there's that. They played a vignette of him with a girl, and they had a night out, and they're coming back, I guess, to their car or back to their house, whatever. And I guess they run into some hoodlums, and this one guy just takes all of them out. That's basically it. But Wardlow is on his way to AEW. They also announced the next pay-per-view coming up is called Full Gear, oh my, on November the 9th from the Farm Royale Arena. I believe it's in Baltimore, Maryland. So that's cool. It's also going to be on a Saturday night, too. Here's the thing, too, also. I'm going to say this as well. It's cool that you're doing your show on Saturday. It's fine. I think it's awesome. It's different. But at the same time, and it goes back to what I was saying earlier with, all the same. These shows can't be 5 hours long. I get it, it's your pay-per-view. It's fine. But goddamn, when I'm watching wrestling on a Saturday night, you know what I want to do after? Besides doing a fucking review, I want to go out. I want to go to the bar. I want to get a couple of drinks. I want to talk to some chicks. You feel me? Not sit here and watch a show for 5 hours straight and then be tired as fuck after I'm done watching it. Sorry to say, but that's just the feeling I get, right? Keep this in mind too. As I'm watching this show, I'm falling asleep. And here's the thing about it, not because, oh my God, this show sucked. No, because again, I get up at 3 a.m. almost every day, almost every fucking day to go to work at the airport. And then after that, I go to my other job in the afternoon. So I'm tired as shit. I came back home yesterday from my morning job. I didn't get to sleep anything. And then I went straight to my second job with literally no fucking sleep. I drank a Monster energy drink. I literally drank a Monster before watching All Out. And even if that, I was tired. Okay? So keep that in mind as well. So there was that. We then get the first match on the main card. We had SCU of Christopher Daniels and Kazarian and Scorpio Sky versus the Luchasaurus, Jungle Boy, and Marco Stunt. I thought overall the match to start the show is fine. Luchasaurus over his shit. Let's just get that clear. The stuff that guy was doing was fucking amazing. Did a kip up, did a suicide dive outside the ring. The guy is very athletic. And I think if there's anyone that could probably be challenging one day for that world title, like maybe against Jericho one day, we'll probably get a good match, if you will, is Luchasaurus. Just saying. I mean, we'll see what happens though. But Luchasaurus is going to be a big time player in that promotion. I'm just saying that right now. The sky's the limit for that guy. Believe me when I say that. But again, a very fun match to say the least. SCU got the win. They hit the BME, their take on the Meltzer driver, where Daniel did the BME off the top rope, and it hit both Jungle Boy and Marco Stunt for the 1, 2, 3. Another thing too about Marco Stunt, it's funny because again, think about AEW fanboys. Okay, and this is the thing. They will spend their money on anything. So, StarCast was this past weekend. And again, you know, AEW fan, they blow their money on StarCast. And they're playing these shows on the Fight TV app, right? Which people are paying money for. So let me get this straight. And they did a weigh-in. Marco Stunt weighed in at 102 pounds. Holy shit. My fucking little nephew weighs more than Marco Stunt. Let that marinate for a minute. My 10-year-old nephew weighs more than Marco Stunt. I even think my 10-year-old nephew can beat up Marco Stunt, in my honest opinion. I'm not sure if AEW is going to have a fucking Pee-wee division, but we'll just see. We'll just fucking see. We then get, after this, we get Pac versus Kenny Omega. This kind of shocked me, based on where it was placed on the card. And you would think, hey, because Pac and Kenny Omega, this would probably be on later on in the show, but instead they placed it right here. Like the second match on the show, basically. The match itself was great. I enjoyed it. If you're a fan of, again, just that Super Junior style, this is what you got, basically, out of these two guys. A lot of countering of moves, a lot of good near falls. There's a spot where Kenny does like a dive onto the outside, and Pac just kicks him right in the midsection, and it's like, oh, it just looks so fucking ugly. Again, there's crazy stuff, like there are multiple V triggers. Pac countered multiple times the one-winged angel, and this again, just something you can imagine, right? The crowd was chanting 205. I get why they're doing that. Yeah, granted, there was supposed to be Jon Moxley, but instead we got Pac. And I think overall, it was a better match than I think people were expecting. But when it was all said and done, the shock happened. Holy crap, the shock fucking happened. Pac countered the one-winged angel into a brutalizer submission. Omega passed out in the hold. And the match was awarded to Pac via ref stop. So now Omega is, apparently they're saying he's 0-2. But then he beat Shima in AEW. So technically, in theory, he's 1-2. In my opinion, he's 1-2. He's not 0-2. But again, in a big match here, you know, you could say, oh, the storyline is, hey, he got overconfident, and this is what happened. And Pac got a win. And you know what? I think Pac needed that win. Pac needed the win. And now, you know, I look forward to seeing what they do with Pac. And from what happened, I think on the post show, from what it looks like, we're going to get Pac versus Hangman Page. I'm all in for it. I'm all in on it. And one more thing, too. I know I just said Hangman Page. The right guy won. The right person won, that being Chris Jericho. I'm just going to say that right now. We'll get into that momentarily. We then had the Cracker Barrel Clash. We had Jimmy Havoc versus Joey Janela versus Darby Allin. This was basically a fucking hardcore match. The type of shit that you would see in GCW. Basically, they used the Cracker Barrel itself. People were chanting Cracker Barrel, so it's basically say that Cracker Barrel is going to be endorsing AEW for a long time. Basically, you know, it's crazy when a fast food joint gets over on a show, on a wrestling show. Just saying, right? I guarantee you, WWE is going to fucking respond with Popeyes. We'll fucking see. But again, this match was basically hardcore match. There's a moment where both Janela and Darby Allin are teaming up, and they tie Jimmy Havoc to a steel chair, and they put thumbtacks in his mouth, and they tape his mouth. Darby Allin does a dive to the outside where Jimmy Havoc is sitting. He's telling Darby to just jump on him and shit. Janela is on a steel chair, and I think it was Darby Allin. No, it was Jimmy Havoc, one of the two. They do a monkey flip in the corner, and Janela's on the steel chair, and he lands sitting down on the chair, which was pretty cool to see. There's a table spot where the table's literally on the apron into the guardrail, and Janela jumps out and it hits Darby Allin, and they land to the fucking table. Got a crazy reaction as well. Darby Allin is one crazy motherfucker. Yeah. I just got to that realization. That motherfucker will put his body through anything. There's a moment where he has the Cracker Barrel, and Jimmy Havoc is just sitting there. He's laying there on a table, right? And Darby Allin goes for his tomb drop, right? The same move that he did on Cody at Fyter Fest. But he has the fucking barrel from Cracker Barrel behind him. And he jumps, and Havoc gets out of the fucking way. And Darby hits the table and the barrel through the steel steps. My bad, it was through the steel steps. Some shit like that. Which is also crazy to see. Joey Janela does like a fucking moonsault or something. It was a moonsault or something like that. And just falls right on the floor. Like, what the fuck? But it was all said and done. When it was all said and done, the one guy that I did not expect to win this won. Jimmy Havoc pinned Joey Janela after an acid rainmaker into the Cracker Barrel itself to win the match. If you're into hardcore death match style, this really wasn't it for you, but it was a hardcore match nonetheless. But again, it was that the crowd got into it, so there was that. When you think about that at the end of the day, we then had the Dark Order versus the Best Friends, where the winner of this match will receive a first round bye in the AEW Tag Team Championship tournament. The match itself, honestly, I just really wasn't feeling. Just felt there. Nothing to go crazy about here. Just again, whatever, to be honest, right? So basically, after interference from the Creepers, the Dark Order were able to win the match with the Fatality, which is a gory bomb flipping neckbreaker combination. And by winning again, they'll receive a first round buy-in. And it looked like the Dark Order were going to take, with the Creepers, were going to take both Best Friends, Chuck Taylor and Trent Beretta. But then the lights went out. And then in the middle of the ring, you see Orange Cassidy with his hands in his pocket and does a suicide dive to the outside of the ring with his hand in his pocket. And you see the Best Friends and Orange Cassidy hug. It looks like they're now a trio. Whatever. At the same time that they're doing this whole buy-in for the tag team title tournament, at the same time, I guarantee you that the Best Friends will still be in that tournament. So will, I guess so will Private Party, so will Angelico and Jack Evans. I'm going to say this right now, too. The tag team division AEW is really looking great right now, especially what happened later on in the show, which we'll get into also in a bit as well. Okay. But again, it was all said and done. The Dark Order got the win, and then there was that. We then had Riho versus Hikaru Shida. The winner of this match will face Nyla Rose to crown the first ever AEW Women's Champion on October 2nd, which will be their debut episode on TNT. I'll be very honest. I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I know these two women. I know a lot of YouTubers, I know a lot of podcasts, I know a lot of these diehard AEW fans will pretend like they watch Joshi Pro Wrestling, but in reality they fucking don't. They're gonna probably say, "Oh, but Riho's great, Steve. So is Hikaru Shida. She's amazing." When they never even watched one of her matches before, just fucking being realistic about it, okay? This match, honestly, was a dud. I didn't care for this. This was my bathroom break. This match was putting me to sleep, believe it or not. Riho got the win. That's all I can tell you guys, honestly. The match went longer than it needed to, which, by the way, they showed on TV the new AEW women's site. And I wish I could put a photo up here, but I don't have one right now. But goddamn, if you go on my Twitter, I have it. It's on my Twitter, @HeelSteven. It is the most ugliest thing I've ever fucking seen. AEW, you had all this time to come up with the concept of a women's title, and it looks like one giant fucking egg. It's just, ugh. Ugh. It's terrible. It's terrible. I know a lot of people say, oh, but Steve, it's not a fucking giant WWE logo. Yeah, but it's not a fucking egg either. Goddamn. So with that, we're getting Riho versus Nyla Rose. Remember I think it was Fyter Fest. Riho beat Nyla Rose. Here's the thing about it, okay? You expect me to believe, right, that Riho... You expect me to believe, okay, let's put it this way, right? You expect me to believe that Nyla Rose is going to once again put over Riho. No. Come on, fams. Let's be real about it. Here's the thing about it, okay? I'm just going to be brutally honest. I know a lot of people are on this Nyla Rose bandwagon. A lot of people are on this whole Nyla Rose wave. Oh my God, she's fucking amazing. I'm going to be the one to say it. And this may be very unpopular, which I can totally understand too. She just doesn't do it for me. She doesn't. I get it. You know, I get what AEW is trying to do. And you know what? I'm just going to say it. And you may think, oh, how dare you say that? Keep this in mind. I have an openly gay brother. Okay? My brother's openly gay. Just keep that in mind, okay? But I really wish AEW, if they're going to award Nyla Rose the AEW women's title, I wish it was because of her in-ring ability and not because of a fucking agenda. I'll repeat that again. I wish that AEW, right, if you're going to crown Nyla Rose the women's champion, your first inaugural women's champion, I hope it's because of her in-ring ability, not because of a fucking agenda, which is basically what it's going to be. I hate to be the one to say it, but it's true. Listen, in WWE, there's this whole women's evolution, revolution, whatever the fuck you want to call it, right? And AEW want to stand out, hey, let's put a transgender as our fucking women's champion. And I'm sorry. Nyla Rose versus Riho is a fucking mismatch. You may say, oh, I'm transphobic, all that shit. No, it's not. No, it's fucking not. I'm just calling it like I see it. It's the way it is. Let's put it this way. Let's have Nyla Rose go into shoot mode against Riho. And then all the people that are defending Nyla Rose like she is God's gift to women's wrestling, let's see what the fuck y'all say then. Let's see y'all then defend your beloved Nyla Rose. I can see it now. They're going to put the belt on Nyla Rose because of a fucking agenda, not because of in-ring ability. You might think I'm fucked up for saying that, but hey, my brother's openly gay. And you know what's funny? I showed my brother some clips of Nyla Rose. You know what he said? How the fuck is she wrestling women? Keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. I have friends that are openly gay too, and I showed them clips of Nyla Rose, and even they've said it's a fucking mismatch. How old was she when Nyla Rose developed or transitioned, if you will? Just call it like it is. If you people, again, think what I'm saying is harsh, hey, the unsub button is down below. Feel free. I don't give a fuck. Just saying like it is. We then get Cody versus Shawn Spears. Tully Blanchard was in Spears' corner. You had Cody, who came out to the Star Trek theme. He had Diamond Dallas Page, Brandy, Pharaoh the dog showed up. There was Pyro. Apparently, Tony Khan did not like the fact that the dog was there. Being there was fucking pyro and shit like that, and dog don't react well to pyro, so shame on Cody for that. Kind of a nerdy thing, but fuck it, I'll take it for what it's worth. I'm not surprised. So Cody chose MJF, and I thought, okay, MJF is gonna turn on Cody Rhodes. That's what I literally thought. But no, he didn't do that the whole time. The match itself, honestly, I thought it was an okay match. I just felt like it was way overbooked. You had Tully Blanchard, you had Tully in there getting involved in the match, swinging at Cody. You had a spot where MJF got involved too, and he threw the scarf at Tully Blanchard, and they're going at it too. Arn Anderson made an appearance, hit a spine buster on freaking Shawn Spears, who's Tye Dillinger, essentially. And again, the match was there, and when it was all said and done, there's a moment where Cody has a steel chair. And it looks like he's going to hit this chair on Shawn Spears, the same way that Shawn Spears, attacked him at Fyter Fest, right? And they were fighting in the crowd too. Keep that in mind as well. But instead, Cody throws the chair and then does the disaster kick and then the crossroad for the 1, 2, 3. So Cody gets the win. I'm not fucking surprised. The executive vice president got a win, and there was that. And keep this in mind. In the back of your mind, you're thinking MJF is going to turn on Cody, right? There's a moment where MJF hands the chair to Cody, and you think, oh my God, it's going to happen. But no, instead, it's loyalty, and they're embracing. And there was that. Honestly, to me, I feel like Shawn Spears should have won this match. Because I think about this, right? Think about this. The guy needs some momentum, needs some credibility. The guy got eliminated off in a battle royal by a guy with no legs. Let me remind you dorks about that. At the Casino Battle Royal at Double or Nothing, he got eliminated by a guy with no fucking legs. And there he is losing to Cody Rhodes. The fuck? The guy can't catch a fucking break anywhere. Not in WWE, not in AEW. And you know what? I feel with this feud, you could have carried it a little longer. But hey, to each their fucking own. To each their fucking own, people. We then get La Escalera de la Muerte. A ladder match, essentially, between the Lucha Brothers and the Young Bucks for the AAA Tag Team titles. I enjoyed this match. Granted, there's a typical ladder match, spot fest and stuff like that, but I honestly, genuinely enjoyed the match. Right? Just crazy back and forth, crazy spots with the ladder. Pentagon Jr. did a freaking sling blade, right? Off the fucking ladder. Fucking insane, right? I'm just saying, all right? Just all over the place. Ladder matches are meant to be just fucking all over the place, okay? Keep that in mind as well. There's this one spot, and I know they're being just about this. AEW posted on their fucking Instagram. I think it was Matt Jackson. Yeah, I want to believe it was fucking Matt Jackson. Please tell me it was Matt Jackson, all right? Just want to make sure. I don't want to get them confused. I often do, okay? Just saying. I want to believe, yeah, it was Matt Jackson, okay? Of the Young Bucks. I want to believe it was Matt Jackson, okay? Yes, it was Matt Jackson. He gets hit by a Canadian Destroyer from Pentagon Jr. from the top of a ladder onto a fucking table. To me, this is my opinion. That should have been it for Matt Jackson after that. But instead, they kept going. There's a moment, they're both on the outside, right? And you have Phoenix on one side of the ring on a ladder. You have Nick on the other side of the ring on a ladder. They're about to jump on one another, right? You had Nick jumping on Pentagon. You have Phoenix jumping on Matt, right? And they kept going with it. Then there's also a spot in the match where Nick Jackson, he's climbing the ladder, trying to grab the belts. And there's two tables on the outside of the ring. And they push the ladder down, and Nick, he falls, but he lands on, he hits his foot on the top rope. It happens, right? And then he hits one table, misses the other table completely. It reminded me a lot what happened in Ring of Honor a couple of months ago at Final Battle, where Nick Jackson fucking hit the ladder, and he fucking fell off the ladder onto the table, and it kind of does the exact same way. But other than that, to me, that should have been it for Matt Jackson. But he kept going. Okay? And again, when you get fucking hit with a Canadian Destroyer off a ladder onto the table, you're done. But it was all said and done. The Lucha Bros got the win. And they retained the AAA Tag Team titles. At the end of the match, we had two guys in a mask of dead presidents show up and attack both the Lucha Bros and the Young Bucks. Those two guys unveiled themselves to be LAX. Ortiz and Santana, they officially now join All Elite Wrestling. And I'm going to say this right now, the tag team division looks stacked. You have the Dark Order, to each their own. The Best Friends, the Young Bucks, LAX, Private Party, Luchasaurus, and Jungle Boy. Fucking, who else you have on that tag team? And so on and so forth. There's a bunch of people, okay? A bunch of tag team. SCU as well. The Young Bucks, if I didn't mention them already. Angelico and Jack Evans. It's a very stacked tag team division. And I'm all in on it. I'm all for it. Also, the Lucha Bros, if I didn't mention them already. But fuck it, I'm all in on this shit. It looks stacked and it just adds more value. I think, in all honesty here, I feel like LAX made the right decision joining AEW. That's just me, of course, okay? But there was that. That was the Escalera de la Muerte, right? A fucking crazy match. I thought them coming out, that being LAX after it, was very cool as well. And there you go. By the way, I didn't mention this, but again, there was a package pile driver combo onto a ladder, to a bridge ladder, by the way, which was kind of sick too. We then get the main event to crown the first ever AEW World Champion, Chris Jericho versus Hangman Page. You had Aubrey Edwards, who is the female referee, being the referee for this match. I thought that was kind of a big deal. I think the fact that there's a woman, the first women's referee, that, to my knowledge, to referee a world title match, I'm with it. I think it's great. It's awesome. About time. Awesome. Okay? I actually thought this match was very good. I enjoyed it. It was just all over the place. In a good way. Hangman Page came out to a fucking cool entrance. He rode a horse into the Cedar Center. He had his family at ringside. And the match itself was very good. Jericho made him look like a fucking $1,000,000. He actually hung in there with Chris Jericho. And again, there's a crazy back and forth match. Jericho kicked out of Hangman's finisher. The end of passage. I know it's another name now. I want to say it's called the Deadeye. He kicked out of the fucking Deadeye, right? Which is now known as, was back then known as the end of passage. And again, there's a crazy back and forth. Jericho locked in the wall of Jericho multiple times. I think he also hit the code breaker and Hangman kicked out. People were, again, just sold on this. Jericho was bleeding as well from the side of the eye. But when it was all said and done, Jericho hits the Judas effect to win and become the first ever AEW World Champion. So basically, the Judas effect in full effect once again. Not only does it beat Kenny Omega, but it also beats Hangman Page. And I said this before and I'll say it again. To me, the right person won. The right person won. And it made a lot of sense. I know people kind of say, oh, but look at this. Jericho's a hypocrite. All the fuck you want. But here's the thing about it, though, right? When Jericho called out Brock and Taker from taking spots in WWE, and being that Jericho's now in AEW, kind of doing the same thing. The difference, though, WWE's been established for so long. AEW is just starting out. And the fact that they're going to TNT, you need to get some name value going into their television, right? And Jericho is that name. Now, listen, there's people that felt that Hangman should have won. And again, I don't know where people stand on this shit. To me, I felt like Hangman is a star. He is. There's no denying that, right? The guy can give you good matches. He can cut amazing promos. There's no denying that. But I think right now, and I said this on this past Thursday show of episode 307 of the T-Mail podcast, and I'm going to say here again, his time isn't now. His time will happen. It's going to happen, believe it or not. It's just not right now. He's just not there yet. It's not. And if he would have won, it would have came off like, oh, yes, the guy who's friends with the members of the Elite is getting all this fucking favors and shit. It's funny, too, because if you watch the interview that Hangman Page did with Jim Ross, he said in the interview, he will do anything. He needs to win, but again, it's just like, I feel like they're missing that. But hey, other than that, I thought the match was enjoyable. I thought the show overall, again, was a very enjoyable show. It had its moment that I'll criticize. I think that the women's title is an ugly fucking belt. I think that overall the stage set still feels the same. The two entrances, the fucking chandelier. I don't know what the fuck is their obsession with chandeliers. I don't fucking know. That's just them, whatever. But I do feel, again, all these shows just kind of felt the same. The same time length, same style of matches. That's just me, of course. Also, on commentary, you had Alex Marvez, Jim Ross, and Golden Boy. You had Jim Ross and Excalibur. I'm going to say this, too. I feel like Jim Ross, his style doesn't really mesh with that of AEW. I get it. Jim Ross is a legend. All the fuck you want. But he's basically now a senior citizen. If you really want to transition to who are going to be your future play-by-play guys is going to be Golden Boy and Excalibur, in my opinion. Okay? But that's just that. But like I said before, it looks like they're going to do a Pac versus Hangman feud coming out of their post-show where Pac interrupted Hangman's interview with the press. It was revealed also that Kylie Roy has been released from AEW per Tony Khan. There's that kind of a shock, but whatever. It is what it is. Things happen. But guys, give me your thoughts on All Out. Did you enjoy the show? Did you not enjoy the show? I really welcome your feedback. You can follow me on Twitter at HeelSteven. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button down below. Give this video a big old thumbs up and share it through social media. If you're to ask me my preference, whether it be All Out or All In, I will say All In. I know a lot of people were saying, I know a lot of folks were saying that, oh, this, doesn't come close to All In. Again, you're not always going to outdo the first one. Remember that. All Out wasn't bad. It had its moments that were kind of but again, I enjoyed myself. All right. Before I wrap this up, I want to give a big thank you to the homie himself, Salrex, for this awesome video overlay. And if you are a YouTuber, if you are a podcaster, you want that awesome graphic designs, to hit the homie up right now on Twitter at SRXGFX. Tell him that you want the best graphics designs done for your YouTube channel, your podcast, and he will work with you. He does amazing stuff as always, not just for me, but for JD from NY206, the Solid Monster, House of Glory Wrestling, Big Mike from Big Mike Wrestling Recap Show, and so many other people as well. The best graphic designer in the entire IWC. Now, I also know that NXT UK TakeOver was also yesterday. I didn't watch it yet. I'll watch it this week. I'll do a review as well. I'll have it up sometime this week. If you're a wrestling fan in general, last night you were spoiled. New Japan had a show in the UK. I think it was the Royal Quest, I think it was called. You had NXT UK TakeOver, Cardiff, and then you had All Out. So as a wrestling fan, you were probably exhausted last night. You were tired as shit. But that's all I'm going to say here, guys. Thank you all for watching. Hit that sub button. I'll be back this week as well with the 1996 King of the Ring review. Myself and Big Mike, we are doing retro King of the Ring reviews and all that fun stuff. And as always, dorks, hate, comment, and subscribe. Until next time, you dorks, I am Steve, and I am out like Janet's titties. But more importantly, though, this has been Around the Point.